What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer. Today I'm looking at the fairly new Onomat cards, but more importantly, the recently unbanned Mathmech Circular card that was banned all the way back in December of 2023, so it's been longer than I initially thought. Back before it was banned, I played it in a very untraditional way. You can take a 4-card package and turn it into 2 hand rips and an Omni negate, and pretty much any rank 4 deck with ease. Now that Onomat can produce essentially an unlimited amount of level 4s, this deck was taken to an entirely new level. Let's take a look at 3 different combos. So this first combo that you're going to see it's pretty much a 1.5 card combo. This was when I was first trying it out, but you can get to this. The only difference is that if you have Para actually in your hand, then you don't have to go into the new rank 4, which is Gaga Girl. You'll see why. It's just, if you start off with this, it's really hard to kind of like maximize your end board. Because when you're playing Mathmech, you know, obviously you want to be able to use the trap, right? To like hand rip your opponent. So you kind of have to be careful in how many monsters you have on the field. But you'll see, these combos are very similar, but there is a lot of nuance to them too. So, you know, Pair obviously can grab you anything. And like I said, I don't even think I end up using this. This is pretty much a 1.5 card combo for the most part. You can also search this card with Pair anyways. So in this case, you don't have to go into the new rank 4. So that means there's a kind of like 2 different scenarios here. This is the, I guess you can call the best case scenario, because you can hand rip your opponent 3 times and then like still have basically enough negates for every card in their hand. So that's going to trigger, right, double trigger effects. This card's really good for that. Most rank 4s don't detach to. And having cards in the graveyard is also extremely important. You know, here comes the first one. You could just play another unbanned, but I don't know, this card's kind of cool too, I guess. You can easily just play 2 or 3 because you're going to want to hand rip your opponent at least twice. But if you want to go for the 3rd time, you know, I don't know, you can just kind of throw this in there. It's evil. I didn't even know this card existed until very recently. Not that it super duper matters, but so there's the first hand rip. You want to tribute those rank 4s. Like I said, you need to have 3 zones open, you know, for the trap to go through the Mathmech one. So you kind of have to get rid of these because you know, you can go into F0, so you can kind of condense down these little rank 4 packages, you know, at the end of your combo. But if you just have one laying around, there's nothing you can do with it. So there goes Super Factorial, and there we go. Here comes Utopic Sage. Again, everything kind of just comes back. There goes the second hand rip, and now I've finally kind of made it to the end here. Here's F0. You know, you can rank up, go into Hope Harbinger, and then during your opponent's turn, you know, you can wait to obviously activate this. You do have a spell and a monster negate if you want to get the most out of it, but considering like you know what your end board is, it's almost like better just to, like, you know, let's rip 1 card out of my opponent's hand, because this is an Omni negate, right? And then a monster negate, a spell, which is pretty cool. Your opponent's only going to have what, like 3 cards in their hand since you ripped 3. I think that's probably enough to handle those, right? That'd be pretty insane otherwise. So let's go over a combo where you do have to go through the Gaga Girl, because there's still plenty of what you can do here. Again, all of these are 1.5 card combos for like the main starters. The continuous spell also counts, right? Because it gets you there anyways. You're only going to be able to, I say only, you're only going to hand rip your opponent twice with this combo, which is still really good because your end board's going to be incredible. And you're going to see some really cool interactions too here. There goes Mathmech Circular. Trigger so I can get, you know, the last of it. All the detaches get to every card that you don't search pretty much. There goes Super Factorial. You know, tribute, you know, you want to tribute again those rank 4s because you're only going to be able to make 1 F0, so you have to like really think about that. There goes the Sage. So obviously there was 1 hand rip, F0, and then, you know, you can just use this twice pretty much. And I'll show you one other one which I really like. There's a really cool interaction with unbanned. You kind of trade, you're basically trading 1 hand rip. Yeah, you can chain these correctly, obviously, so that you can use both at the same time. Because otherwise, if you use this effect, then you just like can't use Super Factorial. So in that case, you would 100% trigger it off in the beginning there. So your opponent's going to have, you know, 4 cards in their hand, and then you have you know, again, this is an Omni negate, this is a monster negate, this is a spell negate, and this is a monster negate. Really powerful, you know, like it's like really, really good in my opinion. And I'll show one more just because I really want to showcase one Alan engine. Again, this is a 1-card combo, if you see para. So it's kind of just a different philosophy. You know, normal summoning, bringing out the gigs. I always called this Gigas, actually. No, okay, that's what it's called. Never mind. Yeah, because this can just bring itself back later. Kind of cool, like when you search this out, you know, because your normal summon is normally taken up by the one that brings out from the deck now. I almost thought about not playing this, but, you know, you want to use that glove effect. It just gives you one more level 4, which is cool. So yeah, like once and this is a generic, I can't believe that. The Rika Queen, like once it's tributed in this generic rank 4, it lets you bring out like a high level or high rank XYZ plant monster. And this is a really good one. And I like this one in particular because at the end, when you rank up, you're activating a spell. And you always like get to this spell pretty much in your combos, no matter which way you go about it. So you're going to have a spell in the graveyard. So you're going to like have that monster attached to it automatically, plus the spell, which I really like. So that was like pretty much the interaction I wanted to show. Because again, you'll see in the end here, I'm pretty much just like only going to get 2 hand rips out of it instead of 3. I can bring this back. I don't even need to, I don't think I even used the Gigas there. So there you go. Your opponent gets hand ripped for 1. You know, I activated the spell so I can attach that spell from the graveyard. And then you can, you know, go through your super factorial once again, ripping a card out of your opponent's hand. And you have, you know, a monster spell negate, a spell negate, a monster negate, Omni. Pretty decent. I don't know, maybe the hand rip 3 for 1 is the best, but I just like the idea that you contribute that Rika XYZ. It's a very unique interaction that like you would never think of. You know, tribbing monsters is a very unique effect. Now that we're done with the combos, I'll show you guys my deck, and then I'll give my closing thoughts. The main problem with the deck is that you're forced to play 3 bricks, which is probably 1 too many. Definitely wouldn't count Circular as a brick since it's a free level 4 from your hand. Even a card like Alan is extremely powerful since you can detach 2 materials, triggering various effects or getting cards in the graveyard and tributing monsters. Creates a lot of flexibility in combo lines too. What do you guys think about this wacky deck? Let me know in the comment section down below.